Good evening. Aiia Massarwe's father has made the heartbreaking trip to see where his daughter lost her life, as detectives continue to question a 20-year-old man over her murder. Mark Santomartino joins me live from police headquarters with the latest. Mark, have any charges been laid?
No charges have been laid against the 20-year-old yet, Pete, who remains here in the holding cells on Spencer Street. He appeared dazed as he arrived this afternoon, having just been arrested at a Greensboro park at around 11:20 this morning, less than 10 kilometres away from where the body of Israeli student Aiia Massarwe was found 2 days ago. Today, her father made the heartbreaking trip back to that very spot, choking back tears as he paid tribute to his open-minded daughter. Weeping over the flowers and loving words left by strangers, Aiia Massarwe could barely contain his grief, visiting the bushes where his daughter Aia's life met the most violent of ends.
I am sad because this is the last place my daughter was here.
Aiia Massarwe's broken body was located on Wednesday morning, less than a kilometre from her home. Plans to travel with Dad Saeed at the end of the month abruptly cancelled.
1 month, I tell her, father, maybe you can go to Sydney to enjoy and to see more love. But father, she said, I will wait for you. When you come, we will go together.
21-year-old Aiia was ambushed late on Tuesday night shortly after getting off the 86 tram, having spent the night at a comedy club after practising English with other international students.
She was really happy and joyful, and for something so terrible to happen to someone like that, it's just unbelievable.
Aiia chose Melbourne over New York to study for its culture and safety.
Because the universe is such a happy place and beautiful place.
Today, that smile was lit with the glow of candles as an eerie silence fell over her Bundoora La Trobe University campus. Hundreds gathering to pause for an innocent classmate.
Nothing like this should ever happen. She should have been able to go home to her family.
On the other side of the world, Aia's family in Israel were holding a vigil of their own.
She was in a live call with her little sister, and she basically screamed as a result of some violent hit or attack, and the phone dropped.
Every woman in Australia, every person in Australia should be able to travel home in safety.
Premier Daniel Andrews adding nothing will change until we change too. While not all disrespectful behaviour towards women leads to violence, all violence towards women starts with disrespect.
I'm just getting really emotional, but it could have been my daughter. You know, it could have been my daughter.
I wish, I hope, I pray she have now in the more nice place and peace place and in the paradise.
Charges are yet to be laid against the 20-year-old.
This is a safe country, this is a safe state, this is an isolated incident.
And Mark, this is still very much an active investigation.
Well, late this afternoon, police confirmed to us that this derelict Bundoora home is somehow linked to Aia's death, Pete. It's unclear exactly how at this stage, given that the Grimshaw Street property appears to have been abandoned for quite some time. We know that forensic detectives from the Major Crimes Unit are still on the scene, and they are expected to be there for quite some time as this case continues to develop.
Thank you, Mark Santomartino. Well, Andrew Lunn joins me now live from the steps of State Parliament. Andrew, a vigil for Aiia is now getting underway.
Yes, Pete, there's been a steady stream of people arriving here since around 5 o'clock. And if I step out of shot, there's a tram there, but behind that tram, you see there's a few hundred people who are now sitting there silently. Many of them have brought flowers. They're here, of course, to honour Aia's life and also express their anger at the way in which it was ended. I'll step out of shot now so you can see just how many people are here. This is a silent show of solidarity. There'll be no speeches tonight and no music, just a quiet protest at this latest example of horrific violence against a young innocent woman. Later tonight, a special Route 86 tram will travel from here up to Bundoora Park, taking flowers to the place where Aiia died. Of course, she'd been riding the 86 tram just minutes before she was attacked. It's hoped this tram will be filled in particular with red roses, which her family says were her favourite flower. Pete.
Andrew Lunn, thank you.
Good evening. A man is under arrest and being questioned over the murder of Israeli student Aiia Massarwe. Police swooped on the 20-year-old in a day of developments in the case. As we go to air tonight, crowds are building in the CBD where hundreds are taking part in a vigil in memory of Aiia. These pictures are coming in from our cameras. We'll have a live report there soon. First, we're going to take you to Tegan Dolling at Police Headquarters. Tegan, what is the latest there?
Well, Blake, I can tell you that this 20-year-old is currently being questioned here at the Melbourne West Police Station. Now, this huge breakthrough came just before 11:30 this morning when he was arrested at Greensborough. It was actually the local police who carried out the arrest, but he was quickly handed over to the homicide squad. This follows a 3-day manhunt and a huge appeal for the public's help.
And Tegan, Aia's father has made a heart-wrenching visit to where his daughter died.
Yeah, that's right, Blake. It's extremely hard to even try to understand what Aia's father is going through, but he wanted to visit the site where his daughter's body was found, and he wanted to share with all Melburnians what she meant to him.
A father's unimaginable pain.
I wait for her. I still wait. I don't know how long time I need to wait.
Aiia Maasarwe had planned a trip to Australia to see his daughter. Instead, he's here to retrieve her body and visit the place where she died. From the depths of his sorrow, he offered a brave message of thanks.
I feel very, very sad from one side, but from another side, when I get this support and this help from the people, from the community, from the police, this is make the sufferer least to feel a little more better.
The place where Aia's body was found early Wednesday morning is now a growing memorial.
This has given me good feeling, but also from another ways I am sad because this is the last place my daughter was here.
Aiia read messages left by locals as well as his daughter's friends and teachers, comforted by people he had never met, who have also been touched by this senseless crime.
I wish, I hope, I pray she have now in the more nice place and peace place and in the paradise.
Now this heartbroken father has to take his daughter home.
I have many dreams to be with her, but I cannot now. To be more with Aiia. I want to be with her more time, but someone decide I cannot be.
Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
Aia's death has sent shockwaves across our city. Tonight, a huge crowd is gathering outside Parliament to remember her. Emily Angwin is there. It is a moving scene.
Blake, this is a crime that certainly has rocked Melbourne to its core. The crowd here is steadily growing at State Parliament. Hundreds, if not thousands of people are here to pay their respects to the student. There are men, women, children, the young and the old. Some of them have flowers to pay their respects, and many have been brought to tears when asked how they feel about this horrific crime.
The sad reason why we're here today, to sort of sit and stand in anger for what's happened. Yeah, it's a sort of harrowing feeling. I don't really have words to sort of articulate it.
I live just over a kilometre away from where it happened, and it's just so sad. She seemed like such a lovely girl. It's just really, really awful.
In some ways, this is a sign of hope and defiance, and many people are using this time to reflect. Organisers are encouraging people to get on board the 86 tram, which is the route that Aiia took, and travel to Bundoora after this silent reflection and lay flowers or pay their respects at the scene where she was murdered.
Friendly, and she was so welcoming. It's really hard to forget a face like hers.
Arun Chandran was one of dozens of students who met with the 21-year-old to practice English on Tuesday night. The young woman then went to a comedy show before catching the 86 tram home. She never arrived.
why would someone do that? Like, why would someone take an innocent life like this? She was so colourful. And everyone liked her.
The La Trobe University student was FaceTiming her sister overseas when the killer struck. She should have been safe.
Every woman in Australia, every person in Australia should be able to travel home in safety.
As the community mourned, the Premier posted a tweet saying, "Nothing will change until we change too, until we stop blaming bad men while ignoring the sexist attitudes in our society that created them." At the scene of Aiya's death, brightly coloured flowers and cards now cover the grass. They've been left by strangers devastated by her death.
Well, as a mum who's had that experience with sending kids overseas, I can't imagine what they're going through.
It could have been my daughter, you know, it could have been my daughter.
Friends have also visited.
She was a beautiful soul. She was literally a very happy-go-lucky girl.
Aiia was studying English at the Bundoora University. They held a vigil there this afternoon for the smart and talented young woman.
We lost one of our students, a talented, promising young woman who died senselessly, not far from where we're standing now.
Many were moved to tears.
Nothing like this should ever happen. She should have been able to go home to her family. She should have been able to complete her studies here.
But instead, a trip of a lifetime has ended with Aiya's family preparing to take her body home for burial. Emily Angwin, 7 News.